Okay, now, okay, we're on now. For some reason, what did I do wrong? Did a lot of things wrong. Okay. Oh, wow, we started. Where do we start off? We started off the way down here. Okay, so as I was saying, Happy New Year. It is now 2026. Um, yeah, so people always say New Year, new me, blah, blah, blah. This isn't really about doing anything new per se, more about just finishing what we started. So we started this trading journey almost 2 years ago, and it's been a wild one. It's been a wild one. I've had a lot of wins, a lot of losses, but I don't know, I was always so scared to trade. I was always so scared to lose, and so I never risked anything. Um, but for the first time, I can say, I'm not scared to lose. I just want to get it right. Um, so I was doing a lot of research this morning, and well, I would say a lot of research. I was doing research very early in the morning, um, and I ended up. Normally, I like to leave my laptop and everything, and just um, leave it all hooked up to this secondary monitor. But I did something I haven't done in a hot minute, and I did like a couch session, and it was nice. I kind of had, let's say, a breakthrough, but I had a good realization of what needed to be done. So let me just do. Ooh, where are we? Okay, let me do a breakdown of what I went over this morning and what we'll be looking for, because we're gonna be back. Well, we're not, I say back testing, but really it's real time testing of this. Now, this isn't the full strategy, it's just what I finally figured out how to do this. So, I mean, not that it was hard, but when I draw something on this chart or this chart, I wanted it to sync globally so that I don't have to be like, oh, and come over and draw the same line. So now it works like that. So that's what I figured out today, which I guess I could have figured that out earlier. I just didn't. So yeah, let me go to my this and that. Okay. Oops. Trading checklist charts. Okay, so one thing that happened was I stumbled across, and I guess stumbled across a video, and it was about using the pre-market high and low to determine where liquidity sits. And so basically, so instead of just jumping right into a trade right off the open, and the reason why we say the open is because um, we want to see volatility, and it's hard to see volatility when, let's go back over here. Okay, it's hard to gauge volatility when you get caught in chop and very low volume. Like right now, where's our volume sitting? Oh goodness. Okay, so right now our volume's sitting at 1.3 thousand. Decent volume. Okay, let's go back. I don't know how accurate that is. That would seem to be more lower volume than currently right now. That's probably accurate. Okay, very low volume. See, look at all this volume pre-market, and then we get into the open, and look at it. This candle had 300 on the CVD. It was 300, which is wild. Okay. Okay. Yeah, very low volume in here. And then I don't know, I don't think you can see the numbers. Maybe you can, but and then volume increases as we get up here. And there's where you see the most volume. And look at all this volume while we're chopping. And then we finally decided, okay, the volume started leveling off. Okay. Aside from that, okay, so basically the strategy, or not the strategy, but basically what we're looking for direction. So basically you're gonna come here, you know, to make this easier. Hold on, let me make this easier. Let's go to the 1 hour. Oh boy, where did we go? What day is it? Yikes. In the 1 hour, this looks like a total mess. Okay. Just needed to zoom out. Okay, what day? This is Wednesday. Okay. 1 second. It went all the way back. Okay, this is Wednesday. Thursday, Friday. Yikes. Monday. Tuesday. Just kidding. Let me go to the 30-minute because this is too much. Better. Okay. All right. So basically what you want to do is come over to the 7:30, and you want to do 7:30 to 8:30. So basically I'm just going to draw a box. Should I draw a box or a line? 1 second. Let me think about that. Let's do a rectangle. Okay. So this is where it starts. And then this is the 8:30. So we're gonna stop right there. Oops. Okay. Let's talk about this because for some reason we came all the way up here, but this wick we did not hear, and I'm very curious as to why. Okay. Let's go back down. Let's go to the 5 minute. Yeah, that's weird because you clearly saw on the 30 minute it was showing that we spiked way up here and we didn't. So I don't know what that was about. No clue. Okay, let's fix this. You don't want this one, you want this one. Okay. Finally. Okay, so this is your wide. You know what? I'm just gonna go back to the 1 minute, 2 minute, doesn't matter. Okay, so here in blue, after 5 decades, here we have the pre-market high and the pre-market low. High, low. Okay. Which is probably more down here, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Because of the wick. Oh, yeah. Goodness. Okay. Now, what I want to look for all right, so now what you want to look for is you want to see where we open. So when the market opens at 8:30, what you want to look for is, because here's the thing. When you see a candle like this big green candle, it shows that there's momentum and movement, obviously, right? But you want to see where it goes, because right now we started off the morning right in the middle of this pre-market range. And pre-market can be, I say a determining factor, but it can determine where we want to go. So if you look here, we opened here and we pressed up to the top. And then what did we do? Sold off. Sold off. We didn't get back down to the bottom. Well, at least not at that time. We did a wick. So we did a wick, and then a big sweep, probably even a fake out, and then we came back down. But we don't care about that because we are not trading this. We're only using this to diagram. This is where we're taking our trades. I say we, I meant me. So I want to catch the cleanest movement in any one direction. Because even though the market can do whipsaws and it can go back and forth, all you have to do is catch power move one way or the other. And the key is don't sit in the trade, because, for example, and this is how it makes sense to me. If I'm a retail trader and I see a big push away from, I see a big push off the open, we get a big candle, another big one, what am I thinking? As an ordinary retail trader, I'd be like, oh, we're moving away. I'm gonna be too late. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna enter. I'm gonna start putting my stops maybe here, maybe below here, right? I'm placing stops all the way along here as I'm entering. And then people stay in too long, and then what happens? Things like this happen. And then this. And then you think, oh, maybe if we get a push up, just kidding. Well, we wicked, just kidding, power move down. So then people are thinking, okay, we're going down. Oh, maybe we're going down to the bottom of this range, okay? What happens? We did get a move, and then it completely wicked and reversed very quickly. So then we think, okay, we're going up. See, if you try to chase what you think is happening after it's happening, you're gonna end up getting stopped out every single time. So my whole play is to come over here, and this is where we utilize MACD. We're gonna utilize our moving average and pullbacks if necessary. So for example, right here, we were red off the open. We actually went down first for the first 5-10 seconds. We went down, and then we popped right back up, and in about 13 seconds, 18 seconds, we're up here. This is where you're buying. This is where you're buying, right here or here. Why? Because we just flipped over. MACD flipped over to green, showing more buying momentum, and we just crossed over our 21 moving average, and we're heading towards one area, which is the top of this. You don't have to stay in the entire move. You actually really don't have to. You could stay in, let's put this here. You don't have to stay in the full move. Say you enter here. Okay. Now I don't know where you're placing your stop, but what is this? Almost like a 9-to-1. So this is good. You don't even have to stay in that long to capture the move up to the top here, but you can just capture just a few right before it turns green. Maybe like 3. You don't need that many. So that's the big idea. So let's go to another day, because you can't just look at one day. But again, this is something we're doing in real time, because as you go back in time, it starts to become even more unreliable, at least over here on Renko. So I kind of drew out the levels already. So yep, so this was the low of the pre-market and the high of the pre-market. So let's scroll all the way back. Oh, it's just there. Okay. Okay. Here we go. See, now you can already see this isn't quite right, because you might not be able to see the bottom very well, but it's showing that, for example, where my mouse is, this is showing 8 o'clock in 0 seconds. This is showing 8:03 in 0 seconds. So there could be chop happening in here that I can't see, because when you look back with Renko, it sometimes it'll smooth out, not sometimes, it will smooth out some of the chop. So it could have chopped. Now what happened pre-market, we were just dropping rapidly, and there was quite a bit of volume, also a lot of volume in the pre-market. 5,000, 3,000, 4,000, 4,000, so a lot of volume pre-market. So then we get that open. This is our first, yeah, this is your first opening candle, or was it that one? What the, sorry, I missed one. It's this candle. This one was a complete, you can't see it, but it's a doji. Like, it didn't go anywhere. It went up, it went down, and it literally stopped exactly that. See that little cross right here? It stopped exactly where it started. It did not go anywhere. a lot of indecision, but this candle had 4.7 thousand. So yeah, there was a lot of volume going on in this candle, but it didn't move. And where are we? We're near the top. We're not at the top of the pre-market, but we're near it. And then what happens? You get a power bar down, drops all the way down here, okay? Then you get this one. So as you can see over here, we were green. Again, Renko is being smooth, so I don't know how accurate this is right here. But it was green, and then it flipped to red right here as we crossed the 21 moving average. This is where you would enter for a short, and you capture this move to the downside. You can hold it until it gets close to here, but you don't have to, right? Maybe after you see this, maybe you want to get out, but you just need a single candle. You don't have to wait for this entire thing. You could have, I mean, that would have been great, but you don't have to in order to be consistent. So that was another example. Let's go to the next day. Okay, so let's go to this day. This day had a pretty wide range. Look at that candle right there. Oh, you can't even see the whole thing. Okay, really big candle. And there was 26,000. So that's a ton of volume in a single 1 minute candle. It just dropped. Volume of 29,000. Tons of volume right here. Tons of volume. I would love to see what this actually looked like in terms of, what was I saying? Yeah, I'd like to see what this looked like in terms of Renko, because I don't know, did it chop a lot before it, or what happened? And that's something that you don't know. So, but tons of volume. Let's go back, almost there. So yeah, as you can see, we just dropped. And Renko makes it look smooth, like, oh, we dropped and then we came up and then we came down. But there's probably some chop happening in here, and Renko's smoothing it out. And I want to see what it actually did, because Renko's making it look really good, but was it? But yeah, you see how it was green right here? Can you see that green? Yeah, see that little bit of green right before the open? You see right here, it's barely green, and then it just flips to red. When it flips to red, that's when you want to enter. But obviously this was always 1 minute candle, so there probably wasn't a chance to enter, which is fine. But yeah, so I can't really say anything about this trade, because again, I can't see what was happening inside of all of this. And this is why I like Renko, is because you can see, for example, so let's see this red candle. Can you see the wick all the way up here? Well, what happened first? Clearly we opened here and we closed here, and at some point we wicked up here and we wicked down here. But what happened first? Because we could have came down, and then we could have come all the way up, and then we could have came back down, but not far. You don't know what happened in this candle. And that's what Renko can actually tell you, is the path that price took. I mean, if we were in real time, we could see the path that it actually took. But in terms of pre-market, well, what happened? Okay, so in terms of pre-market, what happened? So this was just tons of volume, 24, 20. You saw the volume, and the other ones were like 1,000, whatever. So much volume, pre-market volume. Look at that. Tons of pre-market volume. And then we were already at the bottom. We kind of opened near the bottom of the pre-market range. So we just dropped. We did come back up to it, Because if I was somebody, right, if I was a retail trader, what is a retail trader doing? They're seeing all of this, they're seeing this, and they're thinking, haha, I can get in. It's probably going to give me an extra bar, and they're probably getting in short. Or it pumped up here, and they were like, oh, yes. Probably a lot of retail traders got in short, and then we pumped all the way back up, took all of their stop losses out, and then they were like, maybe we're going to go up and cover, I don't know, maybe they're looking at a fair value gap here, or fair value gaps here, or all the way back there. And so they're trying to target a push back into this, and it just said nope, drop. And then we kind of swept the previous low, and they might be thinking, we swept the previous low, maybe we're gonna go again. Just kidding. So you kind of have to think about it in terms of, if I was a retail trader, what would I want to do? And then think, and then put myself in the position of like an institution or a bank or whatever, whoever's the big guys. They want, because basically they want to see what they already know what we're thinking. As a retail trader, they know what you're thinking and they know what you're doing, and they're taking advantage of that. So you just can't be taken advantage of. Okay, so yeah, so that's the big idea. But again, I can't tell you what was happening really in here, and because I can't tell you that, I can't say whether or not there would have been an entry or anything. It looks good. Oh, a break, a retest, you're taking something right here. Seems easy enough, but would I have actually done that? I don't know, because I can't tell you what past me would have done based off of limited information. All right, so here, let's just look at this last one, because then it gets into, this is right around Christmas. So we have our pre-market high and our pre-market low. Okay, so what are you seeing here? Whoa. What? Okay. So what you're seeing, well, what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing, yeah, our volume's in like the thousands, nothing near what happened the next day, but volume's in the thousands, but very, not a lot of price movement. See how the other ones, there was a lot of expansion and big moves. This is a very tight range. This is the high. But yeah, this is a very tight range, to be honest. So what ended up happening? We opened here near the high of the whatever. So a lot of, like, look at this. Look at this. We have open, close, open, close, open. Like these candles are almost like just, it's like engulfing. They're just side by side. They're not going anywhere. So I don't know what this would actually look like in terms of, I don't know what this would look like in terms of Renko, because it might be showing no movement. I don't know, because the range between these candles, like here's the bottom. Yeah, there'd be some movement. This is about 100 tick range that it created. Yeah, so I mean, there's movement. It's just very little movement. So I can't tell you what I would have done, because I wasn't there. I don't know. And this is why you have to test in real time, not hindsight. So this is showing kind of what it did, but it's smoothed out. So I don't know if that's true. So it says that we opened, we came up, but we didn't create another brick, and we were green down here the whole time, allegedly. But obviously this is not completely accurate. So then we punched down here, and then we came up. Maybe there was some chop in here, I don't know, but it says that we came up smoothly. I don't fully believe that. we swept the top of the high, and then we came, actually we targeted the low. We bounced off the high, so maybe then we turned red here as we crossed over here. Maybe you entered here, but I don't know what kind of chop was happening at this time. So I really want to work on this in real time. So I'll be sitting down every morning at 8:30. Yeah, I'll probably sit down at like 8:20 and then work through it at like 8:30 to maybe, I don't know, before 9 o'clock, and then we'll kind of just evaluate. And so I might not be doing these evening sessions. That's what I'm trying to say, is because if we're targeting morning trades where there's volatility and structure, then I don't know why I would be I don't know why I'd be streaming at night, unless I was just, if I couldn't, I guess the only time I would stream at night is if I couldn't stream during the morning and I had something to talk about. But yeah, so look at my ears. All right, so new year, and I just honestly, I just want to work harder than ever. It's my goal to have a house by the end of the year because I do not want to renew my lease. And so trading is going to be very crucial to that. Part of my not New Year's resolution, because I don't do New Year's resolutions, but part of my New Year's stuff. Part of my New Year's thing is I want to get rid of DoorDash, because honestly, DoorDash is nice to have when you're lazy and you didn't prepare and you didn't buy enough food. But here's the thing, I spent like $35 on some food last night, and I'm thinking about that. I'm like, I could have bought almost 2 trading evals for that, literally. So what I'm saying is, instead of investing money into, a delicious baked potato, which was amazing, that place is literally like 3 miles from my house. I could have driven there. I didn't have to go, you know, order DoorDash, pay the fees, and all of that. I think the only reason why I have DoorDash is because T-Mobile had some sort of a special where you can get like a DoorDash pass for a year for free. So I've actually saved quite a bit of money on DoorDash. But then there's the reverse side of that, in that I've spent a lot of money on DoorDash when I didn't need to. So DoorDash is going. It has to go. Have I deleted it? No. I mean, there's still some deals, but no, I have to delete it. And I need to focus on this and only this when it comes to investing, because what are you investing in, your future, or you know getting more fat, I don't know. Yeah, so um so that's what I'm going to be focusing on. Yes, I had a whole year last year to find a church, find a Bible study group, which I kept saying I was going to do. Did I do it? No, I don't know why. I don't know. I don't really like people and I don't like socializing, so that's a big strain on my mental capacity, and I find myself busy a lot. You just, with trading, and then I have my insurance test coming up, and I really need to write down some things, because my biggest struggle is times, dates, like trying to remember like the time, like how many days do you have before you have to notify of a change of address, and then how many days do you have to file an appeal, and then how many days are you allowed to wait before your insurance, completely is not not valid or whatever, or how many days you have to reinstate it. And it's the days and the times, like the time frames that you have for things. That's what's been tripping me up the most in the insurance class. So I need to buckle down and study for that. And then so I have that going on. About time to get back to fitness. Monday. Monday will be the day. And also, if I'm not streaming at night anymore, then I don't have to worry about, rushing home to stream. So there's that is a good thing. Um, but yeah, I'm really just trying to invest in my future a little bit more. Um, because yeah, this nobody wants to settle, but you settle when you don't do better, and wasting money on stupid stuff instead of things that can actually improve your life quality is just doesn't make sense. Like why would you do that? So um so yeah. So tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow I'll log in. I'll do the stuff. Um yeah, tomorrow we will start anew. Um and yeah, it's what is it, 8:30? Okay. I think that's enough time. I really just need to take a shower and um do a little decompressing. I was busy earlier. I had teaching my fiance how to drive, and there were some scary moments. Not gonna lie, there were some scary moments where we almost hit a curb and stuff, but he's getting better. So, yeah, we'll be doing that on Saturday as well. Because I don't know, I thought it was gonna be an hour session, and it turned into like a 2.5 hour session. And every time he was like, how about we just stop or take a break, or how about you drive? I was like, nope, you're driving, because he has a test on Monday. And I'm like, if I'm wide eyed and sweating in the car, you're not ready. Okay. So, yeah. So there's that. Uh, what else? What else? Okay. That's about it. Honestly, once this clicks and this all comes together, I don't know. I feel like not life will be easier, but just I feel like I can get back to just doing the things that I enjoy and the things that um, just things that I enjoy. Um, because I would also I'd like to take, what I really want to do is I kind of want to phase out my fitness class. I like my class, but it's kind of expensive. And when I signed up for it, I thought like it was a specific class and it just, it had a start and a stop time. Well, it's just kind of an indefinite thing. You just keep going until you don't want to do it anymore. And so what I'm going to do is I want to fill my life with other activities. And so I'm not, cuz I like my fitness class, but the issues with it are one, the main issue is the time it takes to get to the class. If I could drive, 15 minutes to my class, I'd be fine. But I have to drive almost an hour, and that's because of traffic, but an hour just to get to fitness. And so a big chunk of my evening is taken up with being at fitness class, and that I'm committing about 2.5 hours of my day, and most of that time is in the car. So it's not, it's that part of the class, or going to class isn't fun. Um, having to commute 2.5 hours, it just, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. So I want to start phasing that out and maybe start going a couple times a week, not going the full three. Sometimes they do four. So not going the full 3 or 4, but just doing like 2 days a week. Pick 2 days, do those 2 days, and then add other things to my roster. I want to take kickboxing or regular boxing, um, but I want to do things that are classes that have specific start and end times, so I'm not indefinitely signed up for kickboxing forever into infinity. So, and then I can phase out my fitness class. And then when the coach is all like, "Oh, why are you quitting and giving up on your fitness journey?" I'll be like, "Coach, I have boxing class, I have Pilates." Although I feel like Pilates is a very mom thing to do. I don't know. But I'll be like, I have boxing, I have Pilates, I have um maybe cycling, or I'm gonna add other things so that when I do end my not end my fitness journey will continue. But the biggest reason why I took fitness was because I wanted to, I wasn't comfortable in the gym. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. But now that I'm comfortable in the gym and I'm comfortable working out and I know some of the exercises that you can do, and if you don't know the exercise, look up how to do it. You know, I'm not uncomfortable. And so yeah, I am very okay with that. And so I don't need to be I don't need to be am in a fitness class, not like I used to. And so I am going to phase it out. Like, probably by the time summer comes along, I will not be doing that. So yeah, um, we're going to work on phasing that out. Um, and finding a Bible study, I did find a group, but I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to find a group that has a specific lesson plan, like specific, we're here to learn about etc. And then it meets from whenever to whenever, like a number of weeks, so that I'm not saying, okay, I'm committing to going to this group. Because I think that's another issue I have, is if I go to a Bible study group, I feel like I'm committing to going to that group forever now. And I don't know. I just get scared away from that. So if I could have a definitive time, we're starting in February and we're going till March or something, the end of March. 2 months, I can do that. I can do that. So, so yeah, it's that is something I will be working on as well. Um, but yes, and then as far as trading goes, um, really, we're gonna be back testing our real-time testing, which means showing up every day, not being distracted. So I'm just gonna move around my blocks of time, but other than that, work doesn't interfere. It's all good. It's all good. Um okay. Boo boo boo. Why does my phone keep buzzing? Okay. And to start off the new year right, let us read the verse of the day. Also, my arm and wrist are covered in bug bites. I don't know why, but they are. Okay, I did read this morning. Isaiah 43:18-19 says, "Remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." Which is very fitting for 2026. The past is a point of reference, but you can't keep staring at it and expect to move forward. I can't keep staring at my losses and my shortcomings and stuff and expect to move forward. Gotta move forward, and to do so, you have to be looking forward. Um, and speaking of the new year, last night, I went to bed not really early. It was like 9 or something, 9:30, but I set an alarm for like 11:59 because I was not about to wake up a second earlier. Okay, so I, I I fell asleep, and when I woke up before the new year, I had a series of very vivid, very strange dreams. And obviously, I went to ChatGPT and I was like, what does this dream mean? And basically, the dream was full of reptiles. So, the first part of the dream, I'm walking the dog and I'm walking over by like the bayou, like the Buffalo Bayou. Um, and there's like kind of like an underpass and a bridge. And I'm walking Zazio and I see splashing in the water, and there's this lady or a guy, I don't really know, and they were swimming alongside a an alligator. Like the alligator was on a leash, and then they jumped up onto the shore and they were just chilling, and the alligator was doing whatever, and the lady also had dogs, and the dogs came over and they were playing with Pup, and Pup was just having a good time. And I'm like, what? She was walking the alligator like she was, like she was swimming with the alligator as if you walk your dog, like you take your dog for a walk. She was taking her alligator for a swim in the bayou, and they had come out of like some sort of like a tunnel, like one of those drainage tunnels. It was extremely weird, and I was just like, I was talking to her, but I was just thinking to myself, what the heck? Um, so then, fast forward, we continue on, and the dream switches, and I'm in my house and I have a meeting. Like, my boss is like, we have to go to a meeting or whatever. Like, the boss wants to talk to you, or the upper people want to talk to you about your performance. I don't know. And then what happened? Yeah. So he's like, okay, get in the car, I'll drive you there. And it was like a convertible, very old fashioned car, but it was also a lawnmower. It was like it was two things at once. Like it was an old fashioned car, but then, at certain points during the dream, it switched and it was like a lawnmower. It was very, very odd. When I'm talking old fashioned, I'm talking like 40s old, like the Waltons old. Okay, yeah, it was very old car. So then I'm like getting my stuff ready to go. And I see these king cobras. Now, I googled it, and these cobras, it was a cobra because it had like the, I don't know, the head part of a cobra, like has the little whatever shape of a head. But it had no, it was too colorful. It was very colorful. It was blue. It was like a bluish green. It was like a shiny too, like a shiny scaly kind of thing. And it was bluish green, and it had yellowish orange and gold and kind of a red. It was very beautiful. There were two of them, and they were just kind of slithering around my house. I had left the doors open and I was on the ground floor, and they were just slithering around. They weren't doing anything, they weren't bothering anyone, they weren't hissing or nothing. They were just there. I was I wasn't scared of them, but I didn't want Zazio to get bit by one of them because I didn't know one of them had gone under the bed. I didn't know where they went. So I left the doors open, and I think they left the house. I don't know. Well, I'm getting ready to go to this thing that my boss wants me to go to talk to the higher ups. And I'm riding, and we get the lawnmower slash car out of the barn. And there's two little snakes, not the cobras. These ones are duller and they're small and they're just kind of they're not significant to anything. They're just kind of there and I don't really think about them. Well, then we're going in the car and whatever, whatever. Um, then there was a PUBG version, and then there was like a PUBG thing where I don't know, my fiance, I was in the game, and someone in the game got mad at me, and I don't know, everybody was in the game, but they were also in real life, and it was weird. So that segued me into going outside and talking to my sister. So my sister, this happened a few days ago, but she had, there was an incident with her husband that, he was violent, he went to jail, okay? Um, Anyways, that's just a short summary. Not good, not good at all. Um, and so I'm there and my sister's there, and she comes outside with me because I don't want to deal with the PUBG crowd. And so I'm trying to talk some sense into her, like, you gotta leave this guy, you gotta press charges, you have to take the kids away permanently. So I'm trying to talk to her, trying to talk to her. And we're walking, and those the two snakes that were in the barn that were just insignificant, well, they're ginormous and they're pythons. I don't know what a python. It's a big snake, like almost like a boa constrictor, but in my dream, I saw them as pythons, but they were huge. They were almost cartoonishly huge, like they shouldn't have been that big. Well, we're walking and we're kind of looking at the snakes like, oh, those are big snakes. Well, I think Rachel stopped, my sister, she stopped to try to take a picture or something, and one of them was like surprised and it started like choking, um, which I don't know because that's very indicative of what happened to Rachel. Anyways, not getting into those details, but I don't know if that's why. So this one of the snakes starts, choking, but it was almost like it was cartoonish in the manner, like the snake had like human expressions. It wasn't just a snake, even though it was. Anyways, so it coughs up this thing, and it's like a prehistoric dinosaur of sorts, like a prehistoric lizard. It's a big lizard, and I guess it didn't want to get eaten, obviously, and so the python coughed it up. Well, you'd think it would have escaped, but no. So that python grabbed it, the other python grabbed it, and they just like ripped it in half. Again, all this is very cartoonish kind of a thing. It's not a cartoon, but just the expressions, etc. It was felt very animated. Well, they killed this prehistoric thing, and one ate one half, the other ate the other half, and like the bottom half, the legs, were still trying to run away, but the snake, ate it. And it was very interesting because, it didn't try to constrict its food or anything. It was like it ripped the thing in half, the little prehistoric dinosaur, ripped it in half, almost to like teach it a lesson for trying to escape. So I'm like, there has to be meaning because I had an alligator, a set of cobras, a baby set of pythons, which then turned into a giant set of pythons, and then a prehistoric lizard slash dino. It was like a lizard, like a big lizard. So if you count it, there's the alligator, the two cobras, and then the two pythons, and then the lizard. So that's six reptilian creatures that were in my dreams. Six. Um, and I'm like, and I didn't see any snakes yesterday. There was nothing. I wasn't thinking about snakes before bed. I didn't see any snakes before, but I don't know where that came from. I have no idea. But I'm like, I've never had a series of dreams where it's all the same theme. Snakes, lizards, uh, alligators, all just reptiles. And so I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. Could be some symbolism of, you know, past stuff and things, and I don't know. But it stuck with me. It stuck with me. But I think the biggest thing that stuck with me was the cobras. They were so bright and colorful, and there's no cobra any of those colors, like a bluish green, like this shiny silky color. No such thing. And the fact that I named them properly, I named them like, oh, this is a cobra, this is a this, like I knew what they were. So the fact that I named them properly in my dream um is wild because I'm not big into snakes, I'm not a big snake guy. But yeah, so anyways, that was my dream coming into 2026. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means I'm, stepping into new things or what. I'm not really big on, trying to interpret dreams and stuff. Sometimes a dream's a dream, but something that vivid memorable. I mean, somebody swimming with their alligator, like they were taking their alligator for a swim, like you take your dog for a walk. They were taking their alligator for a swim. Absolutely wild. And even the alligator seemed kind of cartoonish, like it was acting like a dog. Like the alligator, tried to nibble on the person, and the person was like, "Get down, get back," like as if it was just a puppy, and it was a big alligator. I don't know. And I think the alligator might have been wearing a t-shirt. I don't know. Again, it was very, it felt very real in the dream. Like I felt like I was there, but nothing about it was realistic. It was just ridiculous. So, so yeah, it's about an hour. I started late, so I'm gonna wrap this up because I gotta get to bed. Because yeah, I gotta get to bed. Um, but no, going into this new year, like Isaiah said, was Isaiah 43, 43 or 48? Haha, 43. Don't don't look back. You know, don't remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. And I need to work on that because I'm very bad at rehashing old things, old thoughts, feelings, wounds. It doesn't matter. I'm very good at rehashing those things, and I keeps me from moving forward. It really does. And I think that's the other thing, one of the things of the dream was, if that prehistoric lizard that came up, it's like sometimes the prehistoric past keeps coming up, and it's preventing you from, moving forward. Maybe it's interfering with the system. I don't know. It's trying to live, and it shouldn't even be alive, although the python shouldn't have been alive either. They were not the size of a normal snake, although I guess snakes can get pretty big, but these ones were like giant. Like they were curled up, and like they were probably 10 feet. Yeah, they're probably like 10 feet tall, or however tall my ceiling is. Like, not tall, but like kind of sitting up. They were just like 10 feet. I guess maybe pythons can get that big. I don't know. I don't know if it could have been a boa constrictor, but it wasn't in the dream. It was a python. Okay, enough about snakes. Although I do like snakes. But it's been fun. It's been real. Wait, it's been real? It's been fun? But has it been real fun? Yes. Okay.